Anthony Smith versus Devin Clark takes place this weekend in the co-main event of UFC Fight Night Vegas 15, Blaydes versus Lewis, and I can't wait for this light heavyweight bout. This is a very interesting one, even though I know a lot of people aren't too familiar with the name of Devin Clark. He's not really a big contender in the division, and normally we're used to seeing Anthony Smith take on the next big contender, but Anthony Smith is on a losing streak right now, and when you're on a losing streak and you take so many losses in a row, and not just losses, but when you get dominated twice in a row the way Anthony Smith has done. I mean, I know he had a good first round against Glover Teixeira, but after that, it was one-way traffic from Glover. The Rakic fight, he never even had his moment. Like, it was just one-way traffic from Rakic the entire fight long, as soon as it started until the very final bell. I like the matchup. I think it's a good one. I understand it as well, why they're giving Smith an up-and-comer outside the rankings. Can Anthony Smith bounce back, or can we have a new contender in Devin Clark? That is the question. You've got Devin Clark, a very dangerous guy. People criminally underrate Devin Clark so much, and I don't know why, because he's a very good fighter. I know he's lost some fights, and often people are victim to the highlight reel. And I just did a Buckley video before this where I kind of mentioned that as well. People are victim to the highlight reel sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they see the highlights, they see someone get highlight reel finished, and all of a sudden that guy is not even a threat to them anymore. I don't understand that. We've seen this with Corey Sandhagen. He can get finished by Aljo in the first round and get humiliated on the world stage and bounce back and look phenomenal against Marlon Moraes and have the best performance of his career. I mean, Devin Clark is a legit contender in this division. And look at the guys that he's lost to in the UFC. I mean, they're not slouches. He's beat some really good guys. Obviously, he had a rough debut against Alex Nicholson. Probably should have won that fight, but he lost it by KO. Moves on, beats Josh Stansbury, Jake Collier. Not the best wins in the world, but loses to Jan Blachowicz and was doing okay in the first round of that fight. I want to say he had a pretty decent first round with Jan Blachowicz. Outlanded, or nearly it did as well. Landed some good shots, 20-12 in the first round. But Clark was really landing some decent shots early. Comes out switched on, has a good first round. And if he can get that pressure on you early and keep that momentum on his side, he can go on you for 3 rounds non-stop, as we saw in his most recent performance against Alonzo Menifield. One of the better performances in his career so far. He worked Menifield for 3 rounds, and Menifield was in there looking to swing back and land big shots, but Clark just wore him down, gassed him out, pushed him against the cage, and I see similarities in that compared to the way that Smith has lost his last 2 fights. Devin Clark's style, we saw this against many a fighter, even in the Ryan Spann fight, even though he lost. The game plan was, as it usually is, the same way against Daquan Townsend as well. Get you against the cage, use the clinch, get some takedowns, wear you out over 3 rounds. I'm an athlete. He's got ridiculously massive legs, which I think really help him in pushing guys against the cage, because he just sinks his heels into the canvas and the balls of his feet into the canvas, and just uses those legs to just push himself straight into you on the cage, work on the cage, land some body shots. I just don't see Smith liking that style for 3 rounds against Devin Clark. Maybe if this was a 5-rounder, I could maybe see Smith either cracking him in the first round, even in a 3-rounder. That's the only chance I think he has. If he goes out there more switched on the Clark and KOs him in the first round, making a sloppy mistake like he did to Rashad Evans. I just think Devin Clark is a little bit too good. He's got a good chin. I know he's been KO'd a couple of times, but he eats big shots, and he keeps on coming. Menifield hit him with some big knees, some great uppercuts, and some big hooks as well. And Menifield has lit up a couple of guys, KO'd Paul Craig, and Clark eats them well. He got caught off guard by Alexander Rakic with a standing, or just not even a spinning, but just a back fist from the front on position, and as he was throwing a big shot. It was very weird of an exchange to be in, and it was no surprise that he got clipped by it, because I didn't even see what he got hit by, so I'm not surprised that Devin Clark didn't see what he got hit by at first. Rakic gets the KO over him. He also lost a fight to Jan Blachowicz, of course, and then the Ryan Spann one as well. The Spann one sticks out a little bit more because Spann is not quite on the same level and in the high regard that I hold Rakic and Blachowicz to. I just feel as though Devin Clark has the perfect style to beat Anthony Smith. Looks really good in his Alonzo Menifield fight, and I can just see him going out there and working that perfect game plan, tailor-made to beat a guy like Anthony Smith, because John Jones had that same game plan. And I know that at the moment I'm comparing Jones to Teixeira and Rakic to Clark, but in terms of styles, they all can be implemented. I don't see Anthony Smith at this late part of his career reinventing himself and coming back with a vengeance and figuring out that he can't be grappled to the ground anymore. Like, Devin Clark is a very strong guy. He's very good in the grappling situations in fights. I think he's going to be able to get it done. He's the much shorter guy than Anthony Smith, but he doesn't have that much of a reach disadvantage. 76-inch reach advantage to Anthony Smith compared to a 75-inch reach to Devin Clark. I think I just said 76-inch reach advantage. That doesn't exist, okay? He has got a 1-inch reach advantage over Devin Clark. Very good fighter, both of them. I just feel like Smith has taken too much damage. And I also want to say this, because it needs to be said. The truth needs to be spilled in this video. And the MMA Guru tells you the truth. Watch my Shevchenko versus Maia reaction. People didn't like it, but it's the hard fucking truth, okay? And that's what the MMA Guru does. Anthony Smith has fought like a bitch since he got his new teeth. And I know it's about keeping him in, and once those teeth start to go, I just don't think he has it in him anymore. Because if you're a professional fighter and all you care about, and I thought this when Darren Till first got him, but I feel like Darren Till must have got the more expensive version of Anthony Smith's false teeth. But even with Darren Till, if you're a professional fighter, I would not risk any change to my face. I would not risk nose surgery for aesthetically more pleasing nose. I know I don't really have a weird nose, so I can't really speak. Like, if someone has a messed up nose, they're gonna want to get it fixed, I'm sure, a little bit more. But I just don't think I would risk that kind of altercation to my teeth and jaw area when I'm a professional fighter, because I know I'm going to be getting hit in the mouth and I've got false teeth in. That just sounds like a no-brainer not to ever do it until I'm finished fighting. And it kind of makes me think that Anthony Smith has got more into this analyst commentator role and less into the grit down and be the Lionheart champion kind of guy. I don't think he beats Devin Clark. I think he's going to eat some big shots early, and Clark can crack early as well with some big power. We saw that in the Alexander Rakic fight. I know I just spoke about how Rakic TKO'd him with a back fist, but Devin Clark before that, if you'll remember, dropped Alexander Rakic to his ass and had a real good showing against him and almost finished him in that first round with his big power with an amazing left hook over the top. I think Smith's going to get cracked. He's going to shell up like a... I'm going to be brutally honest again. Anthony Smith's going to get cracked early, he's going to shell up like a bitch, and he's going to get taken down and pushed against the cage for 3 rounds, in my opinion. He's going to come out looking like he wants to start switched on, he's going to get hit by a big shot, then I think it's just going to change the way the fight looks completely, as it did with Rakic when he got hit with those leg kicks, as it did with Glover when Glover first landed back on him. It was just like it was over from there, and Smith can... It's very difficult, it seems, for Smith to get momentum back. He used to be the guy, like against Hector Lombard and Rashad Evans, where he would have a little bit of a tough time, not so much with Rashad Evans, but more with Hector Lombard. He was down 2 rounds, I feel like. Even though he was mocking Hector Lombard in the 3rd round, he was losing that fight, came back in the 3rd. Lombard's a welterweight, really, you know what I mean, at middleweight division. Devin Clark's a small guy, but still 6 feet. He's a big boy. He's got big power, big legs for the division. I think he's going to get the job done. Grinding out Anthony Smith to a decision, 30-27, dominant performance. Basically, Usman's him against Woodley, but they're not Usman and Woodley. You know what I mean? Good performance, though. Looking forward to it. See how it goes. Hopefully I'm right. I feel like Smith's probably going to be a favourite just from the evens right now on the odds. And Smith is the more fan-known fighter. So a lot of fans just bet on the people that they're fans of. You know what I mean? Just so like they have money on them. I don't know why people bet like that, but there's like a large percentage of the betting community. There's some that just bet on the fights and they bet their parlays that they think are going to work regardless of which fighter they love. But I feel like there's a large percentage of people that watch the fights and bet on the side that bet on people that they just like so that they can feel more elated when the guy not only wins as their favourite fighter but also wins them a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Smith's going to get money on him late. It will separate the line and they won't be evens anymore. And I think I'm going to wait a little bit and get Devin Clark as an underdog. We'll see how the line goes though. Maybe everyone will bet on Clark right now and I'll be left a fool once he's a favourite after watching this video. But we'll see. Wait, guys. I want to see if Smith gets a bit more of a favourite. We'll see how it goes. I think Devin Clark's going to get the job done. And I think the winner of this fight, listen, Anthony Smith's an older guy, so it's kind of tough to really push him towards the top right now. I mean, he's 32. Devin Clark's 30 years of age. You'd rather Devin Clark win this one. If he wins, he'll be 13-4. It's still a respectable record. I feel like 33-16 is a little bit too many losses to have seen you lose. I've seen Smith lose against too many guys for me to put promotional dollars behind him. So if I'm the UFC, I'm pushing Devin Clark. He's lost to guys as well, but it was less of a beatdown and more of him getting caught with something. Like even against Jan Blachowicz, he got caught with that standing rear naked, gets caught by Rakic with just a back fist straight up, Ben Askren style. I mean, it's just a weird time for Devin Clark, but I think he's got more gas in the tank. He's got more tread on his tyres left. 30 years of age, I'd push Devin Clark. And if he does win, I think he joins the very specific group of light heavyweights right now. The dogs, the up-and-comers. Half of them are going to have to disappear, okay? There's 6 of them. There's 5 of them. There'll be 6 if Devin Clark or Anthony Smith wins. Which one of them will, unless it's a draw. Please don't say I've just fucking jinxed that. Touch wood. Anyway. Hopefully they don't draw with each other, because it would fix a big problem right now in the light heavyweight division. You've got 5 guys. You've got Paul Craig, Jimmy Crute, Magomed Ankalaev, Johnny Walker, and Nikita Krylov. Jiri Prochazka's got a matchup. Dominic Reyes has a matchup as well, I believe, with Jiri Prochazka, actually. Alexander Rakic is soon going to have a matchup. He already has one against Thiago Santos. But the 5 guys left out in the light heavyweight division right now are those guys. Paul Craig, Magomed Ankalaev, Jimmy Crute, not Ryan Spann, he's coming off a loss. Jimmy Crute, Johnny Walker, and Nikita Krylov. They have all beaten each other in some way. Johnny Walker has beaten no one I just mentioned, but he beat Ryan Spann, I guess, in his last performance. But Jimmy Crute beat Paul Craig. Paul Craig beat Magomed Ankalaev. Nikita Krylov just beat Johnny Walker. It's a little bit of a weird situation, and I feel like the winner of this fight is going to slot themselves in nicely to fix this situation and be a fresh matchup for any of those up-and-comers and join in that 5-horse race to make it a 6-horse race. Then we're going to match all of them up together. 3 of them are going to dip down, 3 of them are going to rise to the top, and those 3 that rise to the top, we're going to start picking out top 5 contenders for them to take on to see if we can change the guard at the top of the card. Hopefully Glover Teixeira, I want to talk about this in this video. I just want to mention this. I love Glover Teixeira. If he wins, it'll be an amazing story. The resurrection of an old Brazilian man, still getting it done. Never really a roidy guy. Stayed true to his career, stayed true to his diet, his game plan. Grinded his entire time to get the heavyweight belt or the light heavyweight belt. So late in his career, it's commendable. But I've just realized something. When I was in bed last night, and I was looking up at the ceiling. And I was, of course, not sleeping, because my mind goes crazy at night, as all of ours does, I'm sure. I was thinking to myself, if Glover Teixeira beats Jan Blachowicz, we're doomed. Because Corey Anderson might win the light heavyweight Bellator belt. And it'd be the first time, and this was kind of a weird feeling about Woodley becoming champion when Rory McDonald was the welterweight Bellator champion. There was always an argument for the Bellator guys to say that Rory McDonald beat Woodley though, and he's your champ. This means Bellator's better than the UFC. If Corey Anderson becomes a light heavyweight champ in Bellator, and Glover Teixeira becomes a light heavyweight champ in the UFC, Anderson beat him quite dominantly. It's not going to look good for the UFC. So I just thought I'd add that in there, because we're on the topic of the light heavyweight division. Hopefully Teixeira loses, but I like him. He seems like a nice guy. And I'm on board for Brazilian resurrection. But maybe, hopefully, Corey Anderson gets flattened by Nemkov, who I want in the UFC as well. If Nemkov wins more, get him in the UFC. I'm sick of it. We're signing up Chandler. We can sign up Nemkov as well. He'd actually be a fun little addition to the light heavyweight division. Just KO'd Bader. Come on. Give him the credit he deserves. Nemkov's a savage. But still, looking forward to this one. I've got Devin Clark, 30-27, unanimous decision. I reckon Smith might retire after this one and just become a full-time analyst for a couple of years. I mean, I wouldn't blame him. Makes sense. I mean, he seems like he's in good cahoots and good friendships with the people backstage in the UFC, so that can take you a long way. I mean, look at Alan Jouban. He licked out Karen Bryant once, and now he's got jobs in analyst for life. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Lick that button up there. Not lick that button. My mind's somewhere else. Click that button up there. Toodle pip. Goodbye. See you later.